Ohio Players is out now. There's not a lot of bands that can claim 12 albums, still going strong. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. You know, I think when we started making this record, I definitely, I started, paying attention to the fact that we've been a band for longer than 20 years. And I think it put the pressure on for us to get busy on this album. So we put like 150 studio days in, made like 29, we finished 29 songs to get to the 14 that we're releasing.
Let's get on to Beck and Noel Gallagher. Of course, you've worked with both of them. How did that all come about?
Well, when we started this album, like the basic concept was we wanted to collaborate with like some musical heroes, and the first person we worked with was Beck, and the second person we thought of working with was Noel, and it was kind of, an interesting process to get to him. But it turns out one of my neighbors in Nashville was Oasis's agent for a long time, so he's my golfing buddy, and so he hooked it up. And Noel, at first I think was a little reluctant, and then he gave us he said he was down, so we hopped in the studio at Toe Rag in London in like second week of January last year.
I'm a big Beck fan, and he made an album in 2017, and I know from a kind of producer point of view, I know you guys will be into the kind of sonics and the production on it, but Beck made this album called Colours in 2017, and I kind of feel like a little bit it went under the radar, but there are kind of parts to your new album that Beck has obviously had a part in, where I can hear that kind of Colours period of Beck. Do you feel like that? Did you notice that? Are you familiar with that record?
I've been a fan of Beck. We both have since Loser, essentially.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's something just familiar about the melodies that Beck writes. He's just a musical genius. He gave us our first kind of big break as well. He took us on a tour in 2003. When we were really just starting, and he's been supportive since the very beginning. In fact, the first time we played Brixton Academy, he had us open for him that summer of 2003 as well. He's always been throwing us a bone.
I saw Bill Murray playing bongos for you guys in New York recently. I mean, are you teeing this guy up for the next one? Because that's a lovely little collab. I can see it. It's there. The vision's there.
We tried, but there was a little too much friction in the studio between Pat and Bill.
I hate to do this to you, but are you a fan of anywhere in particular in the UK? If I made you, pick one place in the UK, if I put a gun against your head and said, pick one Auerbach, which one's it going to be? Where would you go for? Or Carney, either one.
Leicester.
Leicester?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Is there a reason Leicester?
I'm a Swindon fan myself.
Swindon? Okay. Did they have an ICA down in Swindon? I feel like they had an ICA for a while down there.
Dude, we've been everywhere in the UK, it seems like.
So I trust your opinion, Pat. I'm saying I trust you, big guy. It's Swindon and it's at Leicester.
Well, our first big fan in the UK is Bobby from Swindon. He would come to the shows like starting back at the 100 Club, and you know what? I've listed him for the Brixton already, so he's coming with his little kids now.
Oh, that is awesome. Kids.
But yeah, he would show up just kind of like, is Bobby from Swindon? Bobby from Swindon. He would just show up, like he would constantly be missing the train and hanging out with us. It was amazing.
Yeah, we want Bobby. We want to see Bobby's picture. Somebody hook us up with Bobby. Guys, thank you so much. I hope on Friday we can confirm you've got a #1 album. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio Players is out now. Go and see them. They are an amazing band, and they are two fine fellows. They are Patrick and Dan from the Black Keys. Thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Radio X.